best way to make money is to save money, especially when you're a student or you're just grinding through a temporary job or you just don't have enough time to make some extra cash. Hi, I'm Naveed Hawk, and I'd like to share with you some of the lessons I learned during college as well as after college and now that I'm a working professional. So the three areas that I'll cover today are going to be your food, your car, and then as well as other miscellaneous consumables that you may be using. So I like to start off with my car. I used to own a 2006 Mazda Miata manual. The reason I got a manual was because I actually fall asleep while driving more often than I'd like to. And fortunately the roads in Texas are pretty much straight, but still, you should not fall asleep while driving. Now my car at the time during college was a older car, 2006, did not have cruise control, at least a functional one. A story that I like to share with you though is one day I was driving to school and my car actually just stopped going. It was on, but it stopped accelerating. I was going like 75, which is very normal in Texas, and actually it's on the lower end. But my car just stopped. And then eventually I turned the ignition, kept it going, and then finally it clicked, and then it worked, and I was able to get to class. I had this issue again once going back home, and I realized it probably should be worth getting checked. So I went to the dealership the next day, or just the mechanic shop, and they said it would cost $3,000 to repair my car because my throttle body, which what controls the intake of air into your vehicle, so when your engine exhaust, it goes through there, brings in fresh air, so your pistons can go, right? At least from my understanding. It would cost $3,000 to repair because it was just so old. I obviously at the time did not have $3,000, and going to a commuter school, I needed a car. So I was fortunate enough to have a friend who was actually a hobbyist mechanic, I'd like to say, and he had like all the tools that we needed to fix it. Now I did reach out to him, it's like, hey, this is the issue with my car, do you know if we can take care of it? And he said like, yeah, for sure. So I go to my friends, and I kid you not, it took us maybe like 6 hours to fix the car. We had to go to the store, and you take off the throttle body, and there's like a bunch of gunk on the inside that we had to clean out. And so we go to AutoZone, bought some throttle body cleaner for like $20, went back to his house in the garage, sprayed it on there, took a Bounty paper towel, cleaned it, and it went from like, essentially this black tar, and then once you clean it, it's just like shiny metal again. Installed it back in, and my car was like working better than the day I bought it. And it cost us about $20 in like 6 hours of labor or 7 hours of labor. And even then, if I paid myself $100 an hour for that labor, I would be still, I don't know, what's the math here? $2,300 like money saved, right? Like that's kind of the power it is when you try to look at these obstacles and see how and where you can do it. Now, obviously, I was very fortunate enough to have a friend who had all the tools, but for that specific job, you honestly could still go buy the tools that you needed and still be well over $2,000 in savings. And cars aren't that complicated. You don't need to go get, an extensive amount of college degrees to be knowledgeable on how to fix a car. I think it just takes the willingness to risk and understanding that whatever you do will not break it. One person that did save me a lot in college for a lot of my car issues was Chris Fixit on YouTube. I'll link his channel somewhere, but he is literally a saint when it comes to knowing how to fix any part of your car or any issues that you may have. And it is the most detailed step-by-step instructions. Definitely worthwhile scoping his channel, learning more about from him. The other area that you can save money is obviously your food. Being a student, you may be not having enough time to cook or whatnot. But I like to challenge you to kind of think about how you can. One of the things that I did when it comes to for saving money on food is that obviously everybody talks about meal prepping, and you don't need a million containers to meal prep. I just like having like big batches of an ingredient. So you can like go ahead and cook a whole pound of ground turkey and put that in one container, right? And then you can just make your fresh pasta the day of. And all you need to do is boil pasta, and then you have the ground turkey that's already been cooked earlier in the week that you can just scoop out of that big container and then put it into your pasta bowl, right? So those are some ways you kind of can think about replacing a meal in your week. So if you're getting lunch every week, work on just replacing lunch in your meal. You can still go get takeout for dinner in other ways. Breakfast and lunch are breakfast and dinner are personally the two that I always eat at home. Lunch is always kind of like an iffy, at least now. But in college, I did all meals at home. I saved one to-go meal, essentially, or takeout meal or dining out meal for the weekend. So that definitely helps a lot in terms of saving money. So challenge yourself, see how you can kind of formulate different ways. I would say in those meals, if you're just trying to change one, think of it more of a function and not so much of it being like a glamorous meal. Like, reality, it's not gonna be good as like getting or whatever it may be. I'm sorry if I'm gonna bleep that out so you're not craving to go eat. But yeah, like those are just kind of some simple ways that you can kind of change your eating habits to save some extra cash. If you're eating out lunch every single day, right, then it's $10. That's $70 you're spending per week, right? And then per month it's about $230, right? So or $210 math. So those are just some things to like take into consideration that you can do to save money. I mean, $210, if you just like invest that into whatever stock, and if you get a 2%, 3%, 8% return in the year, in the course of a year, that's a lot of money that you can use for other things. Are trying to substitute, like, let's say you want to spend less money on your meal, right? Like on the lunch. You can also go into like spend some money on getting some protein bars and have those with you. And that way your $10 lunch, maybe you can just get the entree, which would cost you $4, right? So now you're saving $6, and now you also have the protein bar, which can kind of give you more of that nutritional value. And you're still getting to enjoy whatever. Another way that you can save money is obviously buying stuff that you use all the time in large batches. And ideally items that have a very extended shelf life, right? So when it comes to soaps or your toothpaste, your floss, items that don't really expire, if you can buy it in batch when they're having a sale, go for it. It's better to have like a 2-year supply of toothpaste or whatever, because you know you're going to use that. At least I hope you would. Now, for the people who are already making money and aren't really, I don't want to say pinching pennies, but aren't trying to fine tune in other areas, another aspect to think about is that money is also, we all know the phrase, time is money. And similarly, I think money is time. And so if you're able to get more time in your day, that is actually of value, right? If you know that cleaning your house takes 2 to 3 hours, but you make more money, let's say, as opposed to like hiring a maid, right? Like if you hire a maid and they cleaned your house, you'd probably save 2 to 3 hours. In which case you could work in that time, right? Which can generate income. But more than that, it could also be a time for you to relax or decompress or do whatever, which produces a higher quality of work down the line. So, that's definitely a way you can kind of use luxury services to further improve your life drastically. So don't be shy from, spending time on getting a maid to tidy up your place, or even getting your groceries delivered. Those are easy ways to kind of get anywhere between 2 to 6 hours back in your week, which can be immensely valuable, whether it be, taking a nap throughout the week for those reasons, or just getting a workout in, doing more work, meditating, or whatever, right? You can really use that time of great value. Whew, I need some water. Water break. Hey, if you're listening, get some water. I'm gonna make that a thing. Water break in videos. That should be a thing. In short, there are many ways you can optimize your time and your wallet by making smaller changes, and I think that's really the key. It's not about doing everything I just said all at once. Just do one element, and if you can't do that one element at full speed, then do portions of it. Now, whether that be your food choices, your car, or even investing in ways to free up your calendar by buying other services, it's important that you find value in these things and you try to implement them. With that, till next time, I hope you found this helpful. Please like, subscribe. I hate saying those things, but do those things. It does help me out. And if there's other topics that you want me to talk about or go more in depth about with the things that I talked about in this video, please let me know in the comments and I'll definitely put in the effort to do that. Peace.